Hey folks, this is Price is Wrong, and welcome to the Battle Pirates Roundtable. Uh, we try to use this show to invite members of the community in to discuss things that are bothering them in Battle Pirates or things that they want to give praise or whatever. So generally we try to get as many new people in as we can every week. If you're interested in joining, I know we got a full panel at the moment, but what I suggest is really just keep an eye on the bottom of the screen. We can hold 10 people in, and we can have 10 people in the Hangout at one time, and just look for an open spot. If you need a link, basically we put that on our Battle Vortex page. That is right here, bp.battlevortex.tv, and we pin the event up at the top. And we paste the hyperlink in for the Hangout, so that way you just go in there, you join the event, click that, and then you can come in. We do ask that you have a headset and a microphone, if possible, to help with the background noise. But anyway, we do have a bunch of the regulars on here, a bunch of the Arbiters, which are Vlad. We got Dirty Harry on here, Damnation and Hellfire, and White Star. And then we have some other regulars on here. Oh, Extreme XC29.
We're doing it on purpose now.
Well, I'm actually highlighting your screen right now, and guess what? It's freaking black. There's nothing there. Okay?
Which is why I missed them last week.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Just saying. But anyway, we also have Toxic on here. We have Judge, Elona, and Phantom Menace is with us this week. So, folks, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, I know the Thursday show we went over the state of the game, and we went over the December work in progress, but White Star, didn't you have some other topics you wanted to bring up?
Well, bugs.
Bugs?
Been plenty of them this week, haven't there, since they've done the update?
Oh, yeah, well, I know that new one, that new feature, right? Feature, the instant repair, world map instant repair.
Yes.
So that's getting a little bit of abuse now, because I understand people are using it for instant repair and gunboat guards.
That's right, exploiting it. So what kicks I should bring a fix out immediately for that. I think it's wrong. This is where testing of a game or something that they're going to bring into a game should be really, really tested. And get players testing it to find out the exploits like that before they even suddenly release a damn thing.
Well, they don't. I don't think that they have any real gamers over there anymore. No. Quite honestly, it's because it's like stuff like this. They should have people on staff. I know they used to. Is because I used to have like these kind of brainstorming sessions with some of the developers that used to work there, the design team engineers, and. Where they'd be like, okay, we'd introduce a feature, and then we'd actually start going over. It's like, well, how can this be exploited? And they don't seem like they have anybody over there that's doing that anymore. There's nobody out there over there. I mean, they have their dev days, okay, which is great and all that. That's kind of like their little team building down days. But I don't know that they have anybody over there that is actually saying, okay, well, what can we do to break this feature once we put it in? Most companies have that. I don't know why. It seems like poor little old Battle Pirates were like the redheaded stepchild. But I understand. I always saying that. I'm always hearing that like Battle Pirates is like the breadwinner, but at the same time, I feel like we're stepchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes with the old saying: if it's not broke, fix it until it is.
Yeah.
It feels like we're working for them, finding all the glitches and all the exploits out for them. Then they decide to repair them in 2-3 months down the line.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And you said the dev days, which that's probably where this repair feature's come from, with one of the devs having a go and thinking this would be a good idea.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they put it on there, and it's really being exploited. I was playing with it earlier just to see how. I got bored. I put my gunboats away after 5 times and just thought, please hit the base. But I was playing with it just to see what you could do with it, and I'm sure I was getting called all sorts of names in the comms in the other sector.
Mm.
Well, there is another exploit in the game that everybody seems to be using if you've not completed it yet. That's that base defense one that's still in there. You can still get a 12-hour free repair bubble, and there's a lot of people still exploiting that little bug as well.
What is that again?
That one campaign where they
Yeah,
dragged you to your base.
That one campaign,
Oh, yeah.
campaign.
If you've not completed it, you can still use it to get a bubble.
I heard that there was a limit to that, though. I could have swore, I mean, because I knew that was brought up. I'd seen the conversation with some developers, and they said that there was like a limit to how many times you could do that. I think you can only get like 8 bubbles total from that. I wonder if that's actually true.
I don't know, but you can cancel it and restart it again, can't you?
Yeah,
you
that's
and restarting them.
That's the way I see it. If you don't complete that campaign, I mean, I completed it straight off, but if you haven't completed it, it's a bubble fest for you if you need a bubble. Just have yourself set up for, is it stage 3 of that campaign, and as soon as you hit a base and you've got people coming.
Judge, have you used that or received more than 8 bubbles by doing that?
No, sadly, I didn't exploit that one. I did the campaign straight off in one go. I've just seen a lot of people using it, and I thought, right, I'll see if I can do it, but because I've completed the campaign, I can't go into it again to try and exploit that.
Well, here's a nice thing to ask the people in the chat, or any of the people on the show at this point. If anybody has not finished that campaign, what was the name of the campaign again?
Dragon Strike, wasn't it?
Dragon Strike.
Yeah.
If you've not completed Dragon Strike, and you have the resources to do it, because it'll probably require some coin to do it, try to see if you can actually generate more than 8 bubbles total through executing that campaign, and give us the feedback on that. I know I finished it, so I can't do it myself. Most of us on here have probably finished it, so if anybody could test that for us, that would be wonderful.
I haven't bothered with it.
So that get it.
So I haven't even bothered with it. The prizes don't entice me.
No.
All right. You could be the guinea pig then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think wasn't there some decent prizes in there. I thought that was like the Harrier missile was in there, and I thought there was some good prizes in there. But
I think it
I
was
guess
like
if you're chasing the blade missile, you probably don't care about the Harrier. But
the Harrier missile is in the Acid Rain campaign one. This one was like the ballista and just some free bubbles.
Yeah, and some armor, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhat useless, wasn't it?
Not the good kind of armor either.
Anybody? I think Alona got this morning as well. I also got this when I loaded up the game this morning. I had 2 lots of resources researching, 2 lots of ships building, 2 lots of repairs going on, and a couple of other things going on as well. Anybody else get that?
I saw that last night. I didn't see it today.
Mine's
But-
been
well,
doing
I
it
say
for
last
about
night.
a week now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a graphical error too, right? Though, I mean, it's just something you don't actually have multiple things going. It just shows 2 buttons on the side of the screen, right?
Yeah.
So it's not impacting to anything, you know. It's just maybe an eyesore, but it's not really impacting to anything. So.
But there's somewhat triggering that to come up, though. If you know what I'm saying, though, Price. Someone's got to be triggering that bug to actually display it.
The last update.
I'll get it after I hit a base. I'll go back into my base and I'll have the double stuff.
All right.
Okay.
I don't have any of any of that stuff. None at all.
Yeah,
So
I saw.
it
I'd like
must
to.
be intermittent.
Yeah, I just saw it the one time, but let me see here. I'm actually looking at the Dragon Strike campaign right now. I know the ballista is in there. That's what's in there. Is the ballista?
Yeah, you got the coax turrets, I think, from the elite, but the elite's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the ballista's in prize pack too.
Yes.
And I know they're such an awesome weapon that everybody wants them.
Yeah.
I think that the ballista is actually not like the Deadeye ballista. It's closer to like a javelin.
Right.
So it's an improvement on a javelin. That's basically what that ballista is. It's not like the Deadeye Ballista. The Deadeye Ballista, everybody knows is crap, but the regular ballistas.
I hit a base earlier that had 3 of them in there with a fleet of Mercuries with an Aegeus, and the ballistas weren't doing anything to my fleet at all.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't ever build another one.
Glad I haven't then.
Yeah, I haven't built any yet either. All right. Any at any time if there's like another something else, I'm just going to try to keep the show moving a little bit. I guess I know we had like the state of the game and we had the December work in progress, and I know the December work in progress. There was a thing in there specifically that kind of bothered me personally a little bit, and that was them not wanting to attach dates to the monthly goings on anymore. You know what I mean? It just seems like you know, I mean, does that bother anybody else, or is it just me? You know, I mean, it just seems to me that you know, it's when the community tries to hold them to a standard, they toss the standard out the window.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Childish. Yep, childish for them. It's because like they change everything in the last second and don't let anybody know. That's why they're doing it.
I mean, you know what? I personally, I just don't understand. You know what the I don't know. I don't understand what the issue is. I mean, I know they're doing everything last minute, and you know, even that state of the game thing they put out, it was mainly conceptual, right? None of it. They don't actually have a plan for any of that stuff yet. It's all concepts at the moment, and
yeah, that can happen 10 months down the line, another year or two. That could come in. We just don't know because, like you said, there's no steps.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that was put in there is because in the document that you published, under the first heading of trust, one of the second items there's the plans are not followed through on and often change extremely often. Sub-bullet is monthly activities vary from monthly work in progress. So that's basically saying communicate accurately to us.
Well, quality. We want quality communication.
Right, but this is the verbiage that was in the document that you published. That's the only reason I'm using it. But the bottom line is their response to that, the request for quality and accurate communication, was to say, we'll just stop communicating as much, and that way we won't have to change plans. Because if you don't know what the plans are initially, then we don't have to change them on you.
Basically, I'm taking my bat and ball home.
Right.
Yeah. But no,
I think it's indicative of an admission by a kick side that they're utterly incapable of meeting their own deadlines.
Yeah.
I also think the game, we're getting so used to moaning about the game, is they're setting themselves up to fail. They're just giving us something else to moan about. So actually taking the dates out, yeah, it'd be nice to know when stuff's happening, but it's just at the moment we're very negative, and I'm there too. You know, I'm not saying I'm pissed off as well, but it's almost one less thing for us to be able to moan about. So now we're just moaning that they're not giving us dates.
Yeah, but what's wrong with 2 days before it not going out, Bill making a post on the forum? I know not everybody goes on the forum, saying, "I'm sorry, but we've got to delay this because it's not quite ready yet." Where's the harm in that?
Yeah.
It's not a forum. I mean, they can put it in the actual game. They've got all these other little messages that we get in-game chat, and all they really need to put in there is change blah 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 see forum, and then everybody know. No one can complain.
Yeah, be careful about trying to keep a positive attitude about the game. You'll get some interesting comments on the Facebook forums.
Yeah,
I do try. I've put 4 years into this, and if you didn't, I'd just cry, I think.
yeah.
I guess the other things that are coming out now, I know we don't really know much about the Forsaken Council objectives, really, that are supposed to be coming out. So hopefully we'll see some more information on that soon. And also, the weapon armor rebalance was also slated for the month of December. So, because I know a lot of people are thinking, well, that's like, you know, far out plan, right, too, because it was part of State of the Game, but that's actually part of the December work in progress. So that should be happening this month. and my guess is it's going to be sooner rather than later, quite possibly in next week's update. And I only say that is because the holiday season and all that stuff. If they don't get it done in the first half of the month, I just don't see it getting done. Quite honestly, it's kind of a big undertaking.
I hope they don't do it then, because if they do it, then the raid could be stuffed.
It's exactly the thought I have. If they bring this out on Tuesday and the raid starts on Thursday, boy, I hope they get it right, because they're not going to have time to fix it.
Well, they said nothing's getting debuffed, right? So there's no debuffs taking place. So they could potentially actually help people who can't do the event get the event done as well.
This could help a lot of mid-range players that have got just Harriers, bring them up to Blade standard almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if they're going to implement something like that right before a hull raid, it better be spot on. They better make sure that they don't change any ranges or anything like that, because they're going to throw people's the way the fleets maneuver out, combat speeds, because there's so many fleets out there with multiple different types of hulls. They're going to throw the speed of different boats in your fleets off. It's
But we should have faith. Kix has had a recent track record of really good releases.
Yeah, wow. And I'm just thinking, Harry, they're going to do well here. They are. Believe me. It's going to be perfect.
Wow.
Wow, Judge is getting paid by Kixeye, obviously.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Judge's nose is growing.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm high, drunk, or just delusional at this point, but I'm hearing a lot of positive comments in Kixeye's favor.
Wow.
It's new extreme. Don't worry, you're asleep.
I didn't quite catch that. Where's my beer?
Anyway, do we have a drinking word for tonight, or?
Yeah, we don't usually do drinking words on the round tables, but I don't know.
What about hope?
How about
Optimistic?
Every time
I like that. Every time somebody says
everybody gets
delusional.
If we go with Harry's going to be hammered in the first 30 seconds.
I'm always
and there
hammered
it
in the
is.
first 30 seconds. I'm always hammered in the first 30 seconds.
Well,
Oh, there we go. Okay, all right.
It'll be a fun round table.
yeah.
Yeah, there will be an open spot shortly.
Not my choice either. Harry's just going to pass out on the keyboard.
When you see me fall onto the ground and my chair sitting here, you can kick me off and let somebody else in.
The chair's got to be spinning, though.
all right.
One of the things that I've said several times I'm working on is a comparison between the state of the game and the executive summary analysis that Price put out. I'm not going to get into details of it because I haven't really talked it over and shared it with the Arbiters to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And Vlad hasn't had an opportunity to red ink all over the whole thing. So I did want to point out one thing that I'm noticing, though, since I'm about 90% done at this point. I'm lining everything up under each major subheading by either positive, neutral, or unknown, or undecided. In other words, we don't know yet, and negatives, or things that have happened or that we've heard are not going to happen. And at this point, just about everything is still in yellow or neutral or unknowns. We have a few positives, quite a few negatives, but most of the things are still neutral or undecided. And what that means is, in the grand scheme of things, to me, once again, so far it's all just my opinion, what that means at this point is that we just haven't seen things implemented. We may have heard things or heard promises, but we haven't seen things implemented yet. And I just wanted to kind of ask, how do we feel about that? Has anybody else looked at these two documents, compared them in any way, shape, or form, and gotten a feel for how well Kix is doing?
Sadly, I haven't at all. I know I need to. I've just been kind of playing a lot of video games lately, so.
And how could you play video games, man? This is
This is serious.
That's his job, man.
It is. It is my job. It is, and I need to pay attention to that. So I apologize that I haven't done it yet. But the good news, I am taking. I got a lot of PTO coming up that I have to use it or lose it. So I'm going to have some free time here coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Good. I'll ship this over to you today.
We had talked earlier in the show about how it's probably unlikely there's going to be any major changes throughout the holidays. And there's not going to be any major changes during the raid, obviously. Well, at least we hope not. So that means pretty much Tuesday is it if they're going to hit their 3-month window, because your holidays are going to stretch through the first of the year. Do we really think they're going to get everything done? They said they were going to get done between now and next Tuesday?
No, and they were very clear about saying they were not going to get everything done in the state of the game, even in December. Several of the things alluded to the fact that it will be maybe partially implemented by the end of the year, but would have to be finished into next year.
Well, I never agreed on a 3-month period, but wasn't that what was advertised? It was the end of the year?
I was just going to ask the same question, because this 3-month period seems to be bandied about.
So Price, why don't you tell us, since you were actually there, what was asked for with regard to 3 months?
3 months. I mean, they didn't say they were going to have everything fixed. They just said in 3 months. They wanted me to give them a grade. They wanted me to stick around and give them like a grade over the next, for the next 3 months. So that's basically what I'm going to do. They never said that they were going to fix everything wrong with the game by the end of the year.
Right.
That was never said.
And the cornerstone of it was the original request, I believe, was that you and Nash, or that the BV show or whatever, give them that period of time before backing away or dropping off or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't like making agreeing on the behalf of the community or anything like that. It was just me and Nash were speaking for ourselves. That it was so whatever anybody else does, they do. But
right. So the reason I asked you that was because it was just to point out to everybody that this isn't something where Kixeye said we're going to have all this stuff implemented. There wasn't even a list of things to be implemented when that agreement was made. The discussion was made basically to keep Nash and Price engaged, keep the BB show running, and give them a little bit of time to build up some momentum.
Right. That's just what I thought my understanding of it was, and I just wanted to make sure that I was clear with that as well.
Yeah, several people have made the comment, like Vlad did, about that he didn't give them 3 months. He didn't volunteer to wait for 3 months for this stuff to be implemented. And the bottom line is nobody mentioned 3 months for an implementation schedule. It was 3 months to identify what the major issues were that we saw in the game, and to give them a chance to respond to it.
But I also remember on the show that all that came out, Liam was here, and he was saying a date. He said, 6 months, 12 months. And Doom Rooster was like, no, a lot quicker than that. We can implement this a lot quicker than that. So, we're now coming up to that 3-month point. We're not quite at 6 months. Are we going to see a change?
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what Price was talking about. At the 3-month point, which is basically end of the year, first of next year, he's going to go back and he's going to give them what they asked for, which is a grade on what they've implemented or what they've executed on that was either agreed to, or the major issues that were brought up by the community, the plan that they've put in place to take care of those issues.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, I have a question for everybody who is so pessimistic and so sure that nothing positive is going to come out of these changes. Why are you still playing the game if you're that positive that nothing's going to change?
I can answer that for you, because I put so much coin into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people definitely feel like they're very invested.
Yep.
And it's terrible that. Yeah, well, yeah, the game has turned more into entertainment for those people. I mean, that's the downside about having the game so expensive, isn't it? That people do feel invested, financially invested and all that stuff, and with things taking so long. I know once upon a time when we had Will Harbin on the show, and he's like, "You guys are still using Seawolves?" I mean, obviously, he doesn't seem to understand. He didn't understand that people are attached to their boats and stuff like that because they take so long to build and they cost so much money, money or time, right? To get them done. I mean, it's not a quick turnaround, and that was back in the DNX and MCX days. That was like. Pre Hellstrike, I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was the same year as Hellstrike, but things started going south then. They started going south that year, but obviously they weren't as bad then as they are now.
Well, I myself, I like playing the game. I mean, I have invested a bit of money, but I buy other games off the shop for $150 or whatnot, and if you don't want to play them anymore, you just stop playing them. So
Yeah, the boats aren't real property, though, right? I mean, they're not real property. I mean, granted, you earned them inside the game, but I think just some people, they just like holding to things so tight, that it's not fun anymore. It's work.
I mean, the game it's a gripping game. It still is. It makes you think. It's here's me being positive again. I'm sorry about that, but it does. You get a new hull. You look at it, and they give you a new weapon. You think, well, do I use that weapon or do I use other stuff to make it better? And that's what keeps me interested. And yes, I'd like to see build times come down. I'd like to see repair times come down. Will they? We'll just have to hold out for that.
Well, I've been one of the people who's been accused of being some of the more negative, of having some of the more negative comments. I'm going to say the reason I'm still playing is there's still some level of enjoyment in the game. And yeah, we're invested in it, not just for the amount of coin we've spent, for the amount of time we've spent. I've been playing for almost 4 years. Being invested in hulls, I still have the strike cruisers I built right after I won them when they originally came out. It broke my heart to recycle my battle barges. So we are really. I had a fleet of stalkers that I actually tried to keep current, but I finally gave up on them when I needed the dock space. But we are invested in all this stuff, and it's because it was fun. We remember, I had more fun with those battle barges than I do with my rhinos. Why? Yeah. Because you could use them, and if you got them killed, oh well, you come back, and what was it, 30 minutes, and they're ready to go again, or an hour maybe. I had 2 fleets. I could rotate them out.
Well, I think also a lot of people still play because of the community and their alliance and people they meet as well. So there's always that as well.
Yeah.
Also, I think some of the comments are just made because we all know that Kicks is that they've got a track record of not getting things right the first time. So it's just to put a little bit of extra wood into the fire. So that's what I think that a lot of people say just for that reason.
And honestly, I think part of what you guys have all said has kind of proved my point that I was getting at, is we get so wrapped up with all the complaining sometimes that we forget that there's still enjoyment in the game to be had. And that was kind of my point I wanted to make.
God, he sounds positive.
All right, everybody dog damnation in the forums this week.
I want to know where the real damnation is. That's what I want to know.
Feel free to talk to me because I do my fair share of bitching about Kicks. I'm just like, I'm tired of it, like everything, all the time. It's like nobody gives them credit when they do something right. And
right.
like, if I went to work every day and got the kind of attitude that everybody gives these guys, I would have said fuck you guys a long time ago.
Yeah,
there it is.
And that's why I try. I mean, I make my share of negative comments, but I also try to offset that with some of the positive. And you just nailed the reason why, because I enjoy playing the game.
I did something different this month. I won the new hull and the new weapon I built one of them, the heavy cruiser, and I put blades on it to run as a tank ship for my rhinos, and it works brilliant with the rhinos and an Aegeus in there. And then I've spent the rest of the month refitting my Mercuries with blade missiles and an Aegeus to keep up with them. And that finished today, and I have had the best day in a long time, just hitting bases with a fleet of Mercuries with an Aegeus. And the repair times are quick, so I've coined it a couple of times, and it's just been fun. You know, don't get sucked into the new hulls with the 2-day repair times. You know, do something a bit different.
That's what I've been doing. I've been zombing the hell out of my subs. Getting stuff done.
One of my favorite fleets right now are the Hellstrikes. They're, what, a year and a half, 2 years old? I've updated them a little bit. I'm actually, at the last VXP event, I ranked up my Threshers to Legendary, and I'm going to update those. I'm going to try to have some fun with those.
Yeah, I mean, I did that on the last VXP, got these Mercuries up to Legendary, and, I mean, they rock. I mean, it's like a cheap V2's H fleet with a Frosty with it, but it's 4 Mercuries and an Aegeus. So that's kept me happy. But yeah, sorry to kill the conversation with being happy with the game today.
Yeah, if we're not complaining, there's nothing to talk about either. Thank you for joining the show today. All hail Kixeye.
But that said, what I've put on it is the top retrofit sort of stuff from the weekly free missions, which people can't get to. So yeah, it's just one of those places where I'm lucky enough to be at.
Nice.
So let's slate the free missions again. Oh, sorry, Forsaken missions.
No, not with Forsaken missions. If you've got the right fleets and weapons, easy enough.
So what do you think about turning the conversation to the upcoming raid, specifically what people would like to see in the prize list, with a few exceptions. With a few exceptions. There are some very obvious things that everyone wants. Number one is the Harlock. Number two is the Harlock's Aegis. Second is the regular Aegis. Other than limited hulls, let's put it that way.
A Phantom Tiger, right? Okay. So.
Yep, a Phantom type Tiger Shark would be nice. That would be very nice. A Phantom type Banshee would be nice. Something that actually makes the things move with a decent map speed would be nice.
I think there's already been leaked what the main prize is going to be.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, the kicks are changing the raid slightly a bit, by the way, as well. They're getting rid of the Scourge boss when you complete a set. It's going to be
They're not getting rid of it. They're changing
going to be a different one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be a draconian one this time. But
yeah.
Is it going to be stronger?
Well, my guess is they're doing that because nobody really hit them because they were just too hard compared to the raid targets.
No, I hit them. Instant repair battle cruisers. Happy days.
Cheap repairs? What is them?
They're the only thing I could hit.
The scourge things?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bosses when you completed an air set.
I know Vlad was asking what the main prize was going to be. They mentioned a Drac UAV hull. Was what I don't know if it was just I think somebody had posted on the forums, and then somebody, I think Doom Rooster made a reply saying like somebody was peeking inside the Christmas presents or something like that. So he may have just been funny, maybe sarcastic, a little joke on his end. I really don't know for sure. I haven't heard anything, outside of that's what the prize was going to be. But
here's a little clue prize. What's in the next coming Forsaken missions?
Yeah, UAV batteries.
UAV batteries.
Oh yeah, UAV battery. Yep.
And then he more or less confirmed a new Drac UAV ship and UAV. So
yeah.
So despite his track record, it seems more truth than a joke to me.
That's
Has
true.
anybody noticed how fast the map speed is in your Tiger Sharks?
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's very fast.
It's almost 100 on mine. I have nothing to lead them. They're all hamstrung by whatever I can put the flag on. It would be nice if they had even if it wasn't a sub, even if it was just a super gunboat. It'd be nice if they had something in there you could get to 100 map speed to flag those tiger sharks.
My Phantom Nighthawk, I never built Nighthawks, so I got a Phantom Nighthawk. It's got a Reaver Scout engine on it and the Streamlining 3 bit on it, and that goes faster than the Tiger Sharks. So they've got a 97 map speed.
Well, that would be nice if they let us have a third Phantom. My 2 Phantoms are otherwise occupied. I'm not going to build them just for map speed.
Well, I've only got one.
Aren't the Arbiters pretty quick as well? There's at least one of them with a module on.
Yeah.
It's the blue module, I think.
The nav mod.
The nav mod.
Yeah, that's what I use. I normally stick that in front of my enforcers when I rank them, or when I used to rank them.
The map
It'll
speed.
take map speed up to 70.
I would say I have with engine 3 and navigation array 3. The Arbiter's map speed is 71. I happen to have one. I use it to lead of all things, a toilet fleet.
Well, Vlad, you don't want to build Banshees, then you'll know what slow is going on the map.
Oh, there's a prize. I hope I've got a Banshee. I hope that they do bring the Banshees back so that I can get a couple more. They're really slow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of coffee waiting for my Banshees to get to the base.
Yeah.
Well, what do I?
Or a Wharf Rats crew, which if I really feel like spoiling myself.
You steady on.
Talk about crews. Now would be the time to roll for them before the raid starts.
What are you trying to say? Fix I
If
fix.
anyone wants, never wouldn't say that.
I
would just do it now anyway.
I've rolled over 300k uranium in the past week, and I've not got a the one for half repair times.
Grease monkeys.
Grease monkeys, that's the one. Yeah.
I've got
4
one of them.
Oops.
Oh, shut up.
Do you know something? I find them grease monkeys now absolutely useless in this type of raids because all you want to do is kite. You don't want your ships moving. Yeah, ships moving faster than the other one.
I didn't know you were Welsh.
Or something you're not telling
Yeah,
me.
you're Welsh.
I don't want my sheep spinning. White Star, if you want my sheep,
Where did that come from? Ships, yeah, so... the trouble with grease monkeys...
Your sheep?
Alright, whatever. Shush.
I thought it was a northern accent, not a Welsh one.
Yeah, because it increases your ship speed, does the grease monkeys. So you when you're trying to kite, you don't really want that.
yeah, that's true.
No, and with the speed that you have on your rhinos, the fact that it adds even more speed to those that are damaged, you get them out of they unstack pretty quickly, based upon the most damaged one being the fastest. I noticed that in the last raid. I used grease monkeys once, and I'm like, wow, this is not working the way I'd hoped.
What's the name of that? What's the name? Is it not sea serpents? What's the name of the crew that has that same effect?
Midnight Marauders?
Midnight Marauders.
Yeah.
That's the
Midnight
one.
Marauders, yeah.
Minus
One
the
more.
half repair.
Yeah.
But sea serpent is the best one to use, I think, when they're in this type of raids.
Yep, I agree.
Exactly, that's all I've used.
Turn speed and evade.
Yeah.
I think I used the Bullseye Brigade once or twice because it just kills them quickly, but yeah, Sea Serpent's a lot better.
Yeah, I use Bullseye Brigade on my Hunters or my V2Hs, but I would use Sea Serpents on my Rhinos just to get the additional turn speed.
Well, there's another wish list haul, the Visagio's Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
I want to
I've
see a
got 4
Banshee.
built. Sorry?
I want the Banshees.
They're nice.
They're rubbish. You don't want the Banshees.
No.
They don't need to release that hull again.
What's gonna tick me off is when I win a Ghost Crawler. I'm gonna have 3 subfleets that become completely useless at that point.
If you win it.
How many
if.
shards away are you from a ghost crawler?
Oh, don't mention that,
I'm not chasing shards. I will not be chasing shards.
So if you want a ghost crawler, you'd be
Say
too
that
happy
now.
to be mad.
Oh, shut off.
Talk about shards, though. I hope that they open up the vanguards or whatever they call them right from the start, so people can, if they want to, they can just jump in there and have fun, and even earn a few of the raid points, even if it's not as much as what you get, with the sets and everything. But yeah, I hope they open them up early and leave them open because yeah, I've missed out badly on them the last raid.
Well, and there's something that they did in the last raid that was positive, is they gave points for the vanguards. It just didn't give enough. The amount of points they gave was disappointing. Let's bump that up again and make it worthwhile to hit the vanguards. I mean, not everybody can be like White Star and steal all of Harry's shards. Some of us got to have points in there. Some of us have to have points in there to justify hitting them.
Yeah, no, totally with you there, Vlad. I hit 4, and I think when I saw how little points you got and the fact that you don't get a shard, I just gave up with them. So they need to make them more desirable to hit.
Why don't they add shards as prizes? Say, like for, I don't know, an extra 20 shards, 50 million points.
Yeah.
Well, look, they could do that instead of the tokens that you normally get, like the 1 hour tokens for about 120,000.
No. Don't take the tokens.
Put the shards in.
Wash your mouth out with soap.
Yes.
I'm going now.
Yeah. but no, I mean, that's a good idea, White Star. Sort of bring the shards in as something you can spend raid points on. People are more likely to go and hit targets to get 200 odd million raid points if they could think they could almost redeem it for a ghost crawler. That's why they won't do it then.
Yeah. That's that idea out the window.
Well, it's not. Well, you need 250, so 20 is not much, is it? So you're not going to get it straight away.
No.
Unless you win it in one of the vanguards, which is very unlikely with me, but there you go. I just like stealing Harry's shards.
I'm set him.
I got a shard you can come steal, buddy. I got it.
I don't think so.
I keep it right next to my sheep.
Wow.
Wow.
Grubby just came up with a decent idea in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Boy, I'm having problems pulling words out. How about a crew, say maybe we could actually use Lucky Bastards to guarantee that we either get a shard or maybe even get double shards if you were running Lucky Bastards.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. That'll put the Lucky Bastards out of the roll mechanism, so you don't get them that often.
What are you trying to say, Toxic? What are you trying to say, Kicks? I fix the crews.
Never, things like that.
Oh, God.
Oh, Toxic, that was brilliant. That really was.
I gotta say, there's something that I have a fear. When they started putting those shards out for the ghost crawlers, that I figured, like, okay, 3-4 months, there's going to be ghost crawlers all over the place. Are they going to start building the events to where you have to have a ghost crawler to get them done? You know what I mean? You know how they came out to Arbiters, so it was so powerful that and more than what they expected. So they started adding like quadrupling the armor to defense platforms, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And making everything else useless. So I'm just almost worried that they're going to do something like that with the events.
Well, what they'll do is they'll let everybody get to 200 shards, and they'll quit giving them out.
Well, and they started mentioning mega hulls too. From these, they made a mention of a new mega hull line of mega hulls coming out, and I'm like, I'm definitely worried that they're going to get to the point to where, everybody's going to have mega hulls, and they're going to start designing events to where if you don't have a mega hull, that they're impossible. I mean, because that's just kind of been their pattern. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they learn at some point.
we get to the point where all the normal hulls and all the normal weapons and all the normal specials are actually fairly cheap to build and quick to repair, but you can't do anything with them because you need the mega hulls to do anything in the game. And then those have a 24-hour repair time.
4-day repair time.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that would not make me very happy.
No, that would be bad. That would really be bad.
That would be disappointing.
I think I could stop being positive if they did something like that.
Yeah, even I might lose my little smile.
Oh.
Well, let me see here. I know. So we talked about the weapon armor and rebalance, and you know, I suspect that it may potentially be this week. I'm not 100% sure on that. It just seems to me that it should be the first half. But that was definitely a good call. I didn't even think about the UAV battery. That's probably a really good confirmation that the prize hull is going to be like a Drac UAV hull, and it is going to be a 6-day hull store event this time around, so you know, everybody like batten down the hatches. If you can't do these things, you know, let the big guys who can get them done like the first, you know, day or two or whatever. Give them a couple of days and then start beating them up for assistance. But try not doing it right out the gate, you know.
And we have to say this every 6-day raid. Don't be surprised on Monday afternoon when people are hitting during the raid. It's Monday, and the fact that it's half repairs just is going to make it more attractive, not less.
Yep.
People are going to be out getting their alliance points. Be ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit repair 3 hours, and then you can have a day and a half with a bubble to do your raid.
Yep.
Yeah. But one of the things that you said, Price, was what holes do we want in this store? The V2H, it's got to be there. I mean, it has had a massive comeback, and for all the low-level players that don't have it, they need to get it. Put the was it D53s or the Harriers or whatever on it, and then if they can get the blades, that is going to be a massive haul for them.
Yeah, you know, I actually know people that have the V2Hs, but they don't have all of the specials and components that they need. So, I mean, if they do add specials and stuff like that in, I really hope, and I think they will, but I really hope that they have all of the specials that folks need to make that a good haul.
Yeah, and it was just pointed out, Nemo just pointed out in the chat that the V2H is available through one of the campaigns.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't also be included in a hull raid. But that gives players two different ways to go out and get it.
Yeah, my son did that campaign. It's a Reaver-based campaign that's quite tough. Luckily, he'd got the Rhino hull, and that's the only way he got through that without coining it.
If he had Rhinos, he doesn't need V2Hs.
Yeah, he's only built one. Now he's doing heavy cruisers, so yeah. But
I'd like to see him give up one of the hull store raids every year and make it like a special or component raid, just so people can get some of that kind of stuff that they're missing.
Yeah, where every component is available.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Would certainly help out collectors trying to if they miss something along the way.
True.
I'm really hoping that one day they just come out with just like a regular store, you know, with the use the Forsaken missions to get like I don't know, tokens are I hate to say tokens. Tokens are generally used for time, but some kind of currency that's where you can actually buy components from a store. I'd like to see something like that eventually. I mean, there's other games that have them. I mean, they even do them in other games. Kixeye does. Like I know War Commander, they have part store, you know, where you can go in there and buy things. So, I don't know. I'd like to see them do that at some point.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think it's a little late for the advice for the raid, preparing for the raid, and we've talked about this before, but if the raid is the same or very similar to the last raid, if you've got a fleet with blades or a fleet with Harriers, or if you need to refit to have some of those on a ship so that you can do some more kiting, that was the successful approach to the last raid of this type. And everything we've heard everything we've been told indicates it's going to be the same type of raid. So if you have a fleet with Harriers and/or blades, that's what you're going to want to focus on: combat speed and range, as I'm always saying.
And turn speed.
Yeah, turn speed definitely helps. I mean, if you have a good Rhino fleet that's not sculled, you can run into trouble by not being able to turn very fast, because they don't turn very fast to begin with.
And they've set similar type of raid, so it would be the 80s, the same as what we had last time, just with better range and more powerful missiles.
You see? Utopia.
Oh, and don't prioritize the priority targets. Don't prioritize them.
No.
You mentioned Blades and Harriers, but wasn't there a third missile as well, similar range, and also had a stun effect?
Disruptor.
I got those first for anything. They worked fairly well as well.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got the disruptors mixed in with my blades, and for this raid, or for the last raid, I'm not sure that was all that useful, but they were useful against the Scourge, having them mixed together, because the disruptors would slow down the subs and keep them in range, and you could make sure they were dead before they ran off.
I had disruptors on my blades, or on my V2H before blades, and they didn't help in the raid at all.
No?
Well, the problem
was awful.
That's disappointing.
The problem that I ran into with the disruptors is that my fleet's combat speed, of course, I did everything I could to max out combat speed as well, and with the disruptors, at least in the last raid, I'm not talking about the Scourge raids, I would start kiting, and the disruptor missiles would start hitting and slow the boat down, and so that it wasn't keeping up, so I couldn't kite, so then I'd have to stop and wait for it to catch up. So I actually found that in this particular raid, or this last particular raid, blades without any type of disruptors was a good choice.
Yep.
Yep. I'm hoping to do the whole raid with a fleet of Mercuries.
Wow.
And a credit card?
No, fleet of Mercuries with 6 blades, speed system 5, guided missile system, and guidance scramblers for the evade. They've got a 28 combat speed, and if the raid hasn't changed from last time, I'm just going to do it to Mercuries just for fun.
Did you get your Mercuries sculled up in the VXP weekend?
I did get my Mercuries schooled up in the VXP weekend.
I'm actually optimistic for you. I think you're going to have success with that fleet.
As I said, that can actually work. Do you have the agility system 3?
I do have agility, but I don't use it purely because it's a 2-day build, and guidance scrambler is only was it 11 hours?
Yeah, a few hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say if you had it retrofitted to R15, it actually, I believe it weighs less than guidance scrambler, provides roughly the same amount of evade plus that stun resistance, which the Scourge does put out a stun effect occasionally.
Yeah, but we're fighting Draconians, so there's no stun.
Will the Scourge completely out of this raid? There's no mixture of them at all?
No, if they get rid of the boss targets, they're all going to be Draconian as well. And I hit the boss targets with instant repair battle cruisers.
All right.
Yeah, that was the only place there was any Scourge in the last raid, was in the boss targets.
Yeah.
And the 94s, the Vanguards.
And the Vanguards.
Oh, the Vanguards, but I didn't even look at the Vanguards last one.
They look quite nice. I liked Harry Shad's. Yes, I stole Muller and one there.
Is there a graphic for the Shard?
I don't know. I've not won one.
I want to change my profile picture to a Shard graphic.
No, there's no graphic for the Shard. When you won the Shard, it just came up with a picture of the Ghost Crawler. Yeah. I don't think we've actually seen a graphic representation of the Shard itself.
No, I'm sure if you can do a look in Google Images and type in Shard, it might give you some sort of Shard pictures.
Careful you spell shard and not something
Yeah.
else.
Well, I guess I think that probably pretty much wraps us up. I don't know if there's any other topics that folks wanted to go over, review. I know it seemed like I know, it looks like Nemo probably wishes he was in here because I saw him say something about armadas and stuff like that spawning. Has anybody been having any kind of issues with armada spawning at all, or?
Yeah, not many 60s are coming out at the moment.
I hate that they only put like 260s up, and not more, because there's more in the area.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because every time I kill one, there's generally it's still 2 in the thing.
I'm finding there's hardly any on maps now. I've even searched all the way around of the sector that I'm in, and there's seems to be plenty of 75s, but no 60s.
And I'm having to drive like a minute away for the 60s. I mean, I feel like I'm spoiled when I say something like that. I have to drive a minute away. I mean, I remember once upon a time where if you wanted to hit out a sector, you had to drive 20 minutes. But so driving a minute's really not a big deal.
Yeah, from what I've noticed, when the 60s spawn, people nail them. They get hit pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the issue I've been noticing is there's very few of them. They spawn and they're gone before you can even find them.
Even so, when you're hitting them, because there's not many 60s coming out, that yellow bar's not going up and it's soon dropping back into teal as well. Sorry, blue price. Sorry.
Yellow.
You mean green, right? Green.
Hey, I think
What color is that dress?
with the 60s that it generally responds to like it does with any other type of spawn, like the strongholds respond to their level that's supposedly active base.
Right. I mean, I must be lucky because I'm in a very active sector and getting uranium is absolutely no issue. And to be honest, we find ourselves hitting fleets from people coming through the towers that we don't recognise and coming into our sector. And they're not coming to hit us, they're coming to hit our Armadas.
Sink 'em.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. But I feel guilty. It's terrible.
Yeah, we were in a very active sector that had the same situation, meaning there was always armadas on the map. We're in a sector right now that's not nearly as active, so we actually had to go out and make a concerted effort to hit cargoes to move the bar when somebody needed this.
You'd think that just hitting armadas alone would help contribute towards the bar. I mean, it's supposed to help towards progressing the bar to orange, right? One day when that does come out. But
Right.
it's like it doesn't seem to contribute at all towards keeping the sector threat bar yellow.
No.
Right. I think it makes it move back to yellow or back to green faster, because at this point it's green and yellow. So once it gets into yellow, the more armadas you hit, the faster it will move back to green.
Right. I've not seen it that way, but one thing I've noticed is that damn VXP weekend they're bringing, people aren't hitting salvos as much as they used to. Sorry, bit of humour there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hmm.
And I remember making that comment last month when we had that VXP repair weekend that everybody's got legendary fleets. They don't need to hit cargo as much, so it's going to make it a little tougher to keep the bars up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just have my Tigers out there that are already legendary, just auto in cargoes,
Yeah.
just to keep it up there.
You need to collect the cargoes as well to help it move as well.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that either. I was just opening up a bunch of cargo and letting someone else collect it.
It's actually activity.
So just so you can clarify, White Star, how do you collect a cargo?
Not with sheep, right?
It's just like swiping cargoes, just like swiping shards.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should probably mark the...
Go ahead, Extreme. What was that?
It was just going to be a wisecrack.
Go ahead, man. We got to hear it.
I was saying, well, we should probably mark the date and time because Vlad's phone has not gone off yet, and that's a first.
Yay!
Has anyone got his number?
Probably look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Apparently, Alona's got it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I've seen it on cards and a few telephone kiosks.
I saw it on a few bathrooms.
See, I
I
used the
even have
word
it
kiosk.
right here with me too.
I used the word kiosk there for you American people. I think that's
Right there next to the urinal. I saw it. I saw it a couple times. But.
written on a Sharpie on the heads wall. Yeah. Sorry, we've digressed.
Oh dear.
Well, it was definitely nice having a more positive, I know a lot of it was just laughing and stuff like that. It was nice to have a show that was not quite so negative. So that was really awesome. I definitely appreciate that from everybody here on the panel, and so I definitely want to thank everybody on the panel for joining the show. I want to thank everybody in the YouTube chat. I really feel like this has been a very successful show. We got a lot of watchers right now. We actually have like 92 watchers at the moment. So
Yeah.
I know we had a lot of people who wanted to join. It's kind of one of those first come first serve things. If you're not on here regularly and you'd like to join one of these, I have no issue giving out a link early to somebody. Like 20 minutes early, whatever. So just moving forward, you want to join one of these and you've never been on one, hit me up. And we want to hear your opinion. We want to talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So, I think that's it. I guess we'll be seeing you guys again on Thursday. Just so everybody knows, our group page is right here, bp.battlevortex.tv, and make sure you join the page, and that way you'll get links to all of our events. You join the events, and you actually get hyperlinks and all that for like the after shows and the roundtables and all that kind of stuff. Thursday, of course, is the event day. It's Revenge Raid 6. I do plan on being back in Alpha and streaming when it starts in Alpha, which is 12 o'clock noon for me. It's 9 a.m. Kickside time, but it's noon for me. I generally like to come home on my lunch break, but I'm actually going to be off, so I don't have to go anywhere. But I like to do that first hour and then put the video up on YouTube. So I'll be doing that on Thursday, so look for that. And I guess we'll see y'all then. So I guess that's it. Take care, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.